So that was the charming review in the last video on from Daniel Harm's perspective, and then what we're talking about the Necronomicon files, in case you're coming in the middle of the series here. So what they kind of did was switch off chapters. I'm thinking Daniel Harms is kind of a Lovecraft nut, and John Wisdom Gaunt's is like a failed magician, is kind of how this plays out. And they trade off chapters on what they talk about, and they kind of stick to their strengths. So Daniel Harms, of course, attracted to my Necronomicon. Gaunt's, on the other hand, and give me a chance to kind of address him here. Let's see. Sorcerer's Handbook, Merlyn Stone, Denver, Colorado, Crystal Dawn Press, 1998, copyright Merlyn Stone, $19.95, no ISBN. Okay, so he describes, he goes, I'm not sure why this male author decided to swipe the name of Merlyn Stone, the lady who wrote When God Was a Woman. Okay, now first of all, that one spells it with an I, and I spell it with a Y, going back to the Old English spellings. Okay, one is often tempted, however, to do strange things during adolescence. I mean, I was young, I was 16 years old. So, and Merlyn Stone was a high school student when he wrote this book. Stone states in his biography that he is founder of the New Order of the Crystal Dawn, and for what it's worth, Crystal Dawn was the name of a porno actress in the 1980s. Something I learned from this book. Stone claims he was unseated from the Order of Bards, Witches, and Druids in England because of his compulsion for magic power rather than time wasted on useless study. Looking at his handbook, one can see where a little more useless study would have helped a great deal. Chapter 12, the last chapter of the handbook, is devoted to the Simon Necronomicon, which Stone claims is a powerful magical system. Like the authors of the IGOS books, he encourages his readers to violate the system because he considers it unworkable as presented in the Simon's original book, which isn't true, really. What I suggest is that the Necronomicon, and by referring to that being the Simon Babylonian bastardized Necronomicon, is like something someone wrote down in haste as part of trying to preserve a tradition, not necessarily verbatim off tablets or as being instructed directly from a mentor. So this has to be kept in mind for that. And being a notebook, a magical notebook, all of the preliminaries, all of the magical instructions, such as working in the astral and whatnot, is not given within that material, just pretty much the fundamentals of it. So, let's see. He quotes me, to perform the ritual of the working, or the ritual of the walking, as indicated, if you do it, you'll be greatly unsatisfied. I tried them many times over, did things listed, ended up feeling stupid. Okay. In that comment, of course, pulling out something like that, it's important to understand that the organizations and groups and circles and stuff I was working with as a teenager, the whole thing was trial and error. So what we were trying to understand was what certain things were, or how certain things actually operated. And that's important. Especially with a working of this nature, which is in need of much research in its use. Stone adds various bits and pieces of his own to the Simonian system, but is mostly rehashes material from the Simon book. Book of 50 names and other usual suspects are predictably recycled. Of course, I will say, and Mardukites know this, those that got the latest update, in this we actually were able to differentiate and decipher the full 50 names of Marduk from ancient tablets and found them to correspond with the Necronomicon. So they actually worked one-to-one. And on that note, just side note, it does state that the 49th name is the star, that which shines in the heavens. May he uphold the Alpha and the Omega in his hands, and may all pay homage to him, saying, He who forced his way through the midst of Tiamtu without resting, let Nibiru be his name. The Caesar of the crossings that causes the stars of heaven to uphold their paths. He comes as a shepherd to the gods, who are like sheep. In the future of mankind at the end of days, may this be heard without ceasing, may it hold sway forever. Since Marduk created the realm of heaven and fashioned the firm earth, he is forever the Lord of this world. Enlil listened, Enki heard and rejoiced. All of the spirits of heaven waited. Enlil gave to Marduk his name and title Bel. Enki gave to him his name and title Ea, and said, The binding of all my decrees that Marduk now control, all of my commands shall he make known. And this I was able to find on a tablet predating anything from Sitchin. There was someone a while back that was all flustered because they were convinced that such a name, such a word didn't exist anywhere on any ancient tablet. And it does. It appears on an ancient tablet ascribed to the 50 names of Marduk.